Will you mind leave me now? Oh, baby. Will you mind leave me now?
Hold that tiger, 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 hold that tiger.
And lose control. And lose control. Get loose. Get loose. Get loose.
Are you ready to take your content to the next level? Upbeat.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. My name is Denise Gonzalez for those who don't know me. And for those who do, welcome one more time. I see Melanated Knight and Jorge Rodriguez. Welcome to another stream of Latin Splaining with Denise, all about business and finances. Now, before we get to this topic, I want to give a big shout out to Blood Moon for her donation and also to Rakim. Thank you very much, guys, for your donations. It helps me, bring you guys fresh and new content. You guys can hear me well. Let me know if I'm too low or if I'm okay. Let me know in the chat before we can start today's stream. Press 1 if you can hear me okay. Press 2 if I'm too low. Okay. So before we start, like I said, I want to give a big shout out to Rakim and to thank you, Jorge, to Rakim and to Blood Moon for their donation. Thank you very much. And for those who have supported my channel since day one, thank you very much. I see that you guys can hear me okay. And like I said, let's get this week started and let's start our show.
Take it to the next level.
Woo! Well, I'm going to start today's news with first an announcement. You guys know that I announced last week that I will be doing some cool projects for the summer. The channel is growing. Also, I want to let you guys know if you want to, if you have some music or content that you want to promote in the channel, you can reach out to me. Follow me on Instagram or email me and we can work something out. And I have two announcements. The first one, we will be going on the road. That's right. Latin Splaining will be on the ground, interviewing fellow Latinos and actually getting their thoughts and different topics. So stay tuned for that. And well, let's see if we can catch you on the ground. And the other announcement will be hey, I'm partnering up with my good friend All Aboard on this project that we have been working for some time on. It's called No Bullshit. So stay tuned for the official date that we will begin our new channel. Now we can move into today's news. Now, I usually bring 2 to 3 news today, but the news of today are a little bit more um you know, how can I say it, a little bit more extensive. So I will be focusing only in one news today to share with you guys, because I believe it's one of the most important ones that, have occurred in Latin America. And today we're going to talk about Venezuela. And the thing about Venezuela is, for those of you guys that don't know, Venezuela's 90% of their income is basically oil. Now, in most recent news, shout out to Univision for making this piece. It says China to tax Venezuelan crude, the possible end of an alliance that marks another chapter in Maduro's economic debacle. Basically, I'm going to explain it more simply. If you guys can see, this was the 28th of May, 3 days ago, basically, that this news basically came out. And what has happened is that the leader of China decided that right now he's going to be taxing the Venezuelan oil. And the reason for this and why it's important is because, like I mentioned before, Venezuela's oil industry is one of their main sources of income from foreign lands, and basically is what feeds the government. So without that, basically what the Chinese government is doing is that they're going to be taxing up to $30 per barrel of crude. So, as many of you guys know, the U.S. banned people from buying oil from Venezuela in 2019, I believe. And basically, what's been happening is that China buys oil from them by using ships that mask where they're going. They probably travel. They're basically travel in the dark, in dark mode, so that they cannot be located. They use different names from vessels that are either old or being dismantled. And basically they just go to Venezuela, buy the crude and take it to Malaysia, and over there they mix it with other chemicals. Now China is using the excuse that these chemicals are to need to be cleansed, so basically, to help the environment, quote unquote, right? And basically, with taxing the Venezuelan crude, deeming it basically dirty, um, it will increase the cost of crude from Venezuela, basically hindering their commerce with other people, because the advantage that they had was a competitive price. Now, with this tax, they basically are like sitting ducks in the water without anybody that can purchase their oil. So, for I don't know if you guys have listened to me before talking about how I believe, in my personal opinion, of course, that the Chinese government is basically taking over piece by piece. And eventually, I said months ago that in Latin America, we were going to experience and actually feel the repercussions of what China is doing, and we were going to end up with the shorter end of the stick. And this is the beginning. We can see how, not to have like a huge ego or anything, but because anybody can research this information based on the news and understanding economics and stuff like that, that basically the Chinese government is doing these dirty tricks, united with the United States, to actually make Latin America keep us as the servitude, which is why, like I've said before, um I have decided to start this channel so that we can become more knowledgeable in basics of business, and even some things that are even a little bit more complex. I try to, I've taught myself some of these things. Others I have asked people that are more experienced to teach me and explain me certain things that I cannot understand so I can bring the information to you. But basically, what I said a few months ago about the Chinese using the US and then eventually dropping us in Latin America so that we can stay poor, it's already starting. And I don't know if I should be concerned, happy, or sad at the same time, because I mean, I'm happy that now more people are seeing it. I'm sad that it's happening, and I'm concerned that it might get worse. Now I see that Jorge Rodriguez says Venezuela crime was that Chavez was paying the country debts off without the international banker involved. Yeah, I understand the problems with Chavez, and Chavez basically annihilated Venezuela because he relied also, Jorge, on the oil industry that's dying. At least here in California, I don't know if you guys are aware that Gavin Newsom actually signed into law that by 2035, gasoline powered vehicles will no longer be available for sale nor can be on the street. So we have 14 more years until gasoline vehicles are no longer allowed because of the pollution and because they're trying to quote unquote clean the environment. I don't know how they plan on doing that because our alternative right now is electric. And if you think about it, when you plug in your car and you charge it electrically, you're still using fuel to create electricity. So you're still burning oil. So it's like I said, the rabbit hole keeps getting further and further. And I really do not understand where they're trying to take us. But it will be really nice to see that, people are getting more and more knowledgeable about things. Um, Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm back. So basically, what I was saying, hi Jose, thank you for joining. Like I was saying, on this whole Venezuela and China, basically what we're seeing right now of China turning its back on Venezuela is, like I said, what are they going to do? How did they create it with the resources that they were getting? Did they create it as secondary source of income? I don't believe so. Like I said, 90% of their export of goods and their commerce is oil. So I really do not know what Maduro and the people of Venezuela are going to do to actually overcome this, since now China, which was one of the biggest uh, consumers of their oil and their crude, actually has turned its back now by imposing this. And like I said before, in 2019, the president of the United States already banned people from going, and it's penalizing people for going to Venezuela and purchase the oil with the excuse of Maduro having a cruel regime on the people. And don't get me wrong, I do believe Maduro, um, it's doing atrocities to the people of Venezuela. I agree with that 100%. And I believe on the people of Venezuela's freedom. However, like I said, if now they're in a bad position already because this man actually, I don't believe he has the best interest of Venezuela at heart. I don't want to see what will happen to the people of Venezuela once 90% of their commerce it's shut down by the Chinese government with one single strike. So definitely, like I said, I hope that they have a backup plan, that they probably can sit down with Mr. I think it's Xi Jinping. I'm very bad at mentioning Chinese names, okay? So forgive me. They can sit down and actually hammer a deal. It's the only thing that can save right now Venezuela, unless they come up with something else, either cotton or anything else. But they have to literally move fast to actually stay afloat. Jorge said China want to also intrude with Venezuela because it borders with English territory, Belize, to provoke England. No, Belize. I mean, you mean geographically, because Belize is not next to Venezuela. But if you're talking about business and stuff like that, I clarify, Jorge, because Belize is next to Panama. But like I said, Venezuela is one of the few potencies of Latin America. If Venezuela, Argentina, Costa Rica, and Chile basically get attacked, South America itself is the best, the countries that have the best businesses right now. I don't know if you guys know, but right now Brazil is in a huge uprising by its people. Venezuela right now with 90% of their main source of income by receiving this blow by the Chinese government that, like I said, were their biggest consumers. And Argentina right now losing a lot of businesses because of the C-19 crisis. A lot of businesses and corporations are leaving Argentina. The only thing that's left in South America for Latin countries basically is Chile and Costa Rica. If those two fall, it will be very tough for us Latinos because, like I said, the most established and more quote unquote advanced countries in Latin America when it comes to business are South American Latin countries. So if they're falling by one by one, I don't think it's a coincidence. I think this is an orchestrated place, and which is why I empathize in people getting their knowledge in business and start becoming the owners of something. I don't care what it is. Start becoming an entrepreneur, business owner, the owner of whatever it is that's your area of expertise, that is a high income skill. It's time for you to start capitalizing on that because we need stronger corporate individuals in Latin America. Our countries are under siege, in my opinion, financially. So, like I said, we need to prove that we also have the capacity to do business just like anybody else. And it saddens me that, this is happening. Like I said, I'm sad, I'm happy and concerned. Happy that, we get to see this happening in like a smaller scale. Sad that is actually happening, and concerned for how worse is going to get. Now, like I said, it's a very hard thing to watch happen, especially when we have many people coming from all corners trying to discredit what I'm saying. And I'm by no means I'm the most intelligent Latino out there. There's plenty of Latinos that are way more intelligent than me. I'm just stating my opinion based on the facts. Now, I want to ask my dissenters and my detractors, where are you guys? Where are you guys when 3 days ago this happened? Where are you guys when we're seeing that Latin America once again it's positioning itself at the bottom of the list, basically as the servitude? Where are you guys when history is about to repeat itself and we're gonna suffer another blow or another get again into the blanket of colonization, but this time by our finances? Like I have explained before, there's three elements or components of colonization. One is taking the woman and taking prisoners. Second is disrupting our legacy. And the third one is taking our resources. I explained this with the people of Mexico, how they're strong people with a lot of resources, but America has cut their resources by taking it and appropriating themselves with them, imprisoning the woman basically, and committing sexual assault in ICE detention centers, and also endangering their children by separating these families and not reuniting these children, I'm sorry, with their families, and there are thousands of them. I'm sorry. And on top of that, we also have children in these ICE detention centers that have become missing. And then now we're seeing that on top of that, our resources like oil. Come on, we're not talking about fruits, we're not talking about drugs, we're talking about oil that is still very valuable out there. However, somehow our oil all of a sudden is degraded, and now this resource is being taken from us by alliances that are happening with high potencies of the world in backdoor deals that we're not included in, because we're not looked at as elites or, like, first class citizens of our countries. We're not looked at with respect. So, like I said, to my detractors and the people that think that I'm always talking shit and I don't know what I'm talking about, I want your opinion on this. Where are you guys when this happened just 3 days ago? What are your solutions for Venezuela? What's going to happen to Venezuelan kids? What's going to happen to the Venezuelan families? What's going to happen to their economy? Where are you guys producing solutions for people? Because it's easy to come here and say, oh, she's full of shit, she doesn't know what she's talking about. She wants us to, prioritize money. Well, right now, what Venezuela is lacking, it's not lacking Christianity, it's not lacking Catholicism, it's not lacking anything but money. So what else do you want me to talk about? It's like I say, where are you guys that are my detractors and like to, be my naysayers and stuff? Where are you guys when these things are happening? Because the way I see it, if right now we have it bad, if right now we have people in Venezuela starving and receiving a bag of food that's supposed to last them 15 days, and they have to feed a family of four, and it's literally a small bag of food, what do you think is going to happen now that 90% of their income is lost because China no longer wants to do business with Maduro? What do you think is going to happen to our people? And that's something that, it's super cringe to see that these people do not have solutions, but would like to, discredit people that are trying to bring solutions to our problems. And I have no problem if they have a different approach that actually works. But when you're trying to say that God will save Latin America, what you're doing is what our ancestors did when the Spaniards came in and colonized us, because we were not urbanized like Europeans were. We were not into gunpowder like Europeans were. And what we did, we fall into colonization and we lost our resources, our gold, our silver, our copper, our nickel, our cotton, our foods. And we all don't have to keep repeating it, but 72 million of our people died the last time this happened. Now it's about to happen again. And my question to my detractors is, what are you going to do? What is the solution? If I'm wrong, if I'm full of shit, then what is the solution? I'll leave you guys with that question. And I would love for you guys to ask my detractors every time they try to discredit what I'm saying, what's their solution? And let's see how much they know. Now, our main topic. Today, the topic is why women are failing in business. It's very related to what's happening with Venezuela right now. But to be honest with you, women lately, not lately, but let's say lately, we have a margin of 1% increase yearly in entrepreneurs. And also, we become business owners at the same rate. In 2010, women represented 29% of all business ownership. And today, we represent 40%. So every year we're growing 1%. However, not a lot of us are actually succeeding. And the question is why? If we represent 40% and we're trying to get to 50% with men 50-50, then why our businesses are failing so much? Those are the questions for today. And I started to find answers as to why, because of course, first, I'm a woman. Second, because I would love to see more women succeed when it comes to business and entrepreneurship. It says female entrepreneurs are failing. Now what? This is a documentary that started in 2019, but it started with a study made by Medium.com, and it started evaluating what's happening to women. And it says, I'm going to read a little bit of it. It says, a recent study by American Express shows that female entrepreneurship is a fast growing area. Over the last 11 years, the rate of women creating businesses have risen from 29% to over 40%. And in fact, women of color own 20%. So that means that out of all the business that women start, half of them is women of color. I hate that term. I get it, but that's just the way they put it in there. So it says, not bad for a world where we're desperately trying to find a 50-50 split. Like I mentioned before, we wanted to have 50% of men being the entrepreneurs and 50% women. And it said, but whilst the start are creeping up, the in-depth percentages show a slower and perhaps more concerning trend. Whilst women have begun to contribute a larger group of new businesses globally, the total revenue share of female-owned businesses has only risen from 4% to 4.3%. Basically what it's trying to say, in the same 10 years, from 2010 to from 2009, I'm sorry, to 2019, even though back then the revenue that women created with their 29% of businesses was 4%. That's the total revenue out of the whole 100 revenue that we had in the country. Even though we grew 11%, the revenue only grew 0.3% in those 9 to 10 years. It said, meaning that whilst women are starting more businesses than ever before, we're not really being able to fully maximize market share and take home more of the profit. And if we continue to dig deeper, we can see that 62% of these women rely on their businesses as their sole source of income, yet 88% of those female owned businesses will never make more than 100K. Now, basically, what this is saying is that a lot of us, thank you, Bro Tep. He said this show is lit. Yes, it is. So basically, what it's saying is that even though we're starting more businesses, women are starting more businesses than a lot of other men or even young people. The problem is that not because we're opening the doors of our business, that does not necessarily mean that we're doing better than the men. We're not. We're doing worse because men are growing at a fastest rate, even though they only have 60% of entrepreneurship and corporate ownership. However, they bring in 95.7% of the revenue of the country itself. So we only bring 4.3, even though we have 40% of businesses right now. And that is very concerning. And this stats actually show that there are 3 areas that women are lacking based on what they have found out. The first one is funding. It says the average male owned business starts with 6 times more capital than a female owned business, meaning that they have more money to spend on startup investment, including areas like paid advertising and hiring, and the ability to grow quicker. The Rose Review is now calling for greater transparency when it comes to the funding split of male and female owned businesses. I'm going to insert my opinion here. And I'm not trying to diss women. I get it. We all want female empowerment and stuff, but we have to call a thing a thing. Okay. I disagree with this because I don't believe that is the transparency. I believe that because women are not necessarily bringing business plans to funding or venture capitalists, that we're not bringing businesses that are hype or profitable. We're bringing the same type of business, that is the hair industry, the beauty industry in general, um, clothing industry, what else, food industry. Those are the main areas where we're trying to develop, and to be honest with you, all of that is very saturated. We cannot stand one more beauty salon, we cannot have one more nail salon. Please stop opening clothing stores, unless you have like a very clever business plan that you can offer a marginal service that can complement with your business. We don't need these businesses. And I think two streams ago, I explained how you can contribute to already existing businesses that are actually either failing or need to boost their sales, which is another one of the issues why women are failing, where you can actually support these businesses and actually boost them up so that they can increase their sales. And like I mentioned before, when I was reading this document, they were saying that 88% of these ladies depend, no, 68%, 62%, I'm sorry, depend on sales as their only source of income. That means that they only work in their business and they don't have a job. They don't have a 9 to 5. They quit, or they actually never had one and just open the business. So when you go to a bank or a lending company, and you present this same business plan of a clothing store or a beauty salon or a beauty supply or a nail salon, you have to think how willing they will be, because they actually do know the market, and what they evaluate is like risk versus benefit, loss versus revenue. And when they analyze these things and they analyze the market, and they realize, hey, probably you did not analyze the market, but you cannot bring home at least $1 million per year. So instead of giving you the 60,000 that you want to start up, I'm only going to give you 10,000, which is reasonable if you're risking a large amount of money on somebody that might not be able to pay you back. And that is called risk evaluation. So I believe that's why women are lacking the funding that they need to actually keep it moving. We need to widen our horizons when it comes to the businesses that we want to start. And like I said, no more beauty salons, no more nail salons, no more beauty supplies, or unless you're going to do something that you can invest your own money and it's a very small startup. Like I shared with a friend of mine, she brought me her business idea, and she's gonna start something related to food, and it's a very small investment. And the minute she explained it to me, I saw it and I said, go for it, because it's a very small investment and it's very hip, very creative, and it has a lot of market, and she can actually relocate to wherever she goes. That's the type of way we have to start thinking about. Hey, if I'm the consumer of this, what would I want out of this business? Would I buy here? Would I buy my own product? And you have to be very honest. Oftentimes, people are not willing to evaluate themselves. And something that I would like to recommend women to do specifically: pitch your business idea to at least 5 males and females of different ages. You divide them on brackets from 13 to 17, then to 18 to 24, 25 to 34, and so and so. And you ask them, hey, what do you think about this idea? And if the majority of them say no, take notes and ask them why, so that you can tweak here and there, so that when it's time for you to pitch your business plan to somebody, they can actually say, hey, this person actually reviewed this, they actually did the data, and include that data in your business plan so people can know what you're talking about. Now, the second thing that women lack, according to the statistics, is support. And it says, according to Inc., 48% of female founders cite a lack of available mentors as holding them back when it comes to growing their businesses, with a recent study showing that business owners are more likely to experience growth in their businesses with mentorship than those who don't. It's perhaps no surprise that a lack of support is stopping women getting to the top. Now, I'm going to expand on this one and I'm going to say it is true. There is a lot, and this one I will give it to them. There is a lot of males, like I have shared before, my experience with a mentor that I wanted when I ventured into sound engineering at college, and it came time for me to actually get a mentor for my internship. And this man said, "Hey, I don't mentor women." And I was blessed enough to actually get another mentor that was a male and actually taught me how to promote in radio. And yes, it is true. We do lack, hi Terrell, we do lack people, especially males, that want to mentor us in this. I do not know why. Sometimes it can be that they don't want competition, or that they believe we're not capable. Now, like I said, this aspect, I do agree with this document stating this, because to be honest with you, we need more males to mentor women into how to become better business owners, better entrepreneurs. We need you guys' knowledge. And also, I would say to women, one area that we can actually help ourselves to gain this support will be, let's learn a little bit more from one another, how to pitch and shop for a right mentor, and start, from the ones that actually want to work with us. You're going to get the no's, you're going to get a lot of them that are going to say no, but there's always going to be someone that's going to say yes. Let's go with the yes, and when you get it, don't stop there. Help the other ones that are coming, underneath you. Reach out to that mentor and also mentor them. So I would say this area specifically is something that, as a woman, I have to agree, we lack a lot of mentors in, business and business ventures. And like I said, I'm blessed to have my father also mentoring me in this new area that I'm going to touch now, which is sales. This area is the most important. This is the heart of the business. And it says the confidence gap is a very real thing. And over the last 4 years, I have worked with over 3,000 female entrepreneurs who all cite sales as being their main struggle when it comes to expanding their business. I'm sorry. In a recent round of research, 85.7% of female business owners generating more than six figures in revenue said that their biggest area of focus still needed to be sales, with team building, hiring coming second. Now, I'm going to say this. The problem with the sales goes back to the first very thing we touched here. Okay. If you look at the whole funding situation that I explained earlier, and I said that, we are not opening businesses that are diverse enough for all of us to share and, coexist and still bring home at least, $500,000 per year from our business, which is doable. you know it- what makes you think that sales, it's not going to translate into sales? It goes back to what I was saying, when a lending company was going to evaluate your business plan, and they were going to say, hey, you're not going to generate the sales that you're expecting to, because there's an you have an overcrowded market in that specific area. So unless you come with a very in the new area, or like a new technique to actually reach more customers or steal customers from other people and bring them to yours and confirm loyalty from those customers, I'm sorry, I don't see you making enough sales, therefore you cannot pay me the money you're asking me to actually give you. So when it comes to sales, like I said, the problem with us starts at the business plan. It starts there, and it's completely up to us because first we lack the skills to actually market our stuff, and second, we don't understand the market, and we overcrowd areas that actually are already crowded. Like I said, and I'm going to repeat it again, we don't need any more salons. Do not start your makeup line. Do not start another nail salon or beauty supply. Please don't. Do not keep investing money on learning how to inject women with lip fillers. Do not learn how to put fake lashes. All of those areas are saturated with a lot of women that are already doing this, and they're competing for the same amount of women that are, purchasing these products. No more clothing stores. That's another thing. I cannot, as a woman myself, I cannot support Fashion Nova, Pretty Little Thing, Repdos, Boohoo, Sheen, all of these stores that are opening left and right, House of CB, Misguided. Like there's only Fabletics. We cannot keep on having all of these stores and expect all the women to support all of you at the same time. It doesn't matter how good your quality is. We're going to have at least 3 stores that we buy from, and that's it. It's a wrap. So, like I said, we have to venture more into coding, into technology, into STEM, mathematics, engineer, technology, science. Those are the things that we have to venture in. And I get it. It is scary to start, but we have to start. We can't continue with doing this. Imagine if there was a female version, or at least 3 more females that were doing stuff like Jeff Bezos. How about we start our own free market? That's a business that women are not in. I saw a documentary a while ago when there was this lady in Silicon Valley creating. She was in this beta process of creating that instead of you needing a blood sample of a whole tube, you just need a drop. And because of a lot of cattiness in the science department in Silicon Valley, it flopped. But I believe that she took her chances and put herself out there, and actually she still made money. And her concept, I can guarantee you, give it 10 years, a man will come up with the same concept and develop it. We have to crowd these spaces instead of crowding always the same things. If you don't want to get into science like that, for example, we have a huge market of housewives. However, all the appliances and stuff that we sell for housewives come from men, uh men owned businesses. Why we don't get on that? We know what it is like to take care of certain things at home. Then why we don't create this stuff instead of, and promote it like that? You're supporting a woman with a business that actually knows what you need. It's like I said, it's creating and looking for needs in our own stuff. And because there's more women than men out there, women will support you, but you have to provide what we need, not the same things that, we already have who we need, or somebody that we support on this stuff. Now, Brotep said, scrambling to get things done against possible deadlines as per usual. Yes, Brotep, we're all on that one, trust me. But seriously, like I said, if you're a woman listening to this, not now because I only have 7 people here, and please like and subscribe if you haven't, because it doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me grow my channel. So, like I said, if you're a woman out there listening to the replay of this, and you didn't have the chance to come here and talk to me and discuss this subject, please venture into something different. I get it. You're gonna fail. You have to fail in order for you to learn. We all have to fail. You have to stop being scared of failure and jump into it. It's going to happen, and that's okay. Now, you guys know that before I take calls, I like to go into intermission to give you guys a chance to grab something to eat, something to drink, go to the bathroom, whatever it is you got to do. I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm full of shit, if you want to share your own experience in business ventures, if you think you can contribute something so that women can learn from you, you're more than welcome to discuss it with me. If you think there's areas that women also need to improve on when it comes to business and you want to share that with me, you can also come up here. If I don't know you, please, you have to come up. You already know this. But if I know you, you don't have to. So you're more than welcome to be here. We're gonna go on intermission, and when I'm back, I will have disagreements. If I don't have disagreements and people that want to share this with me, then I will go to closing statements. But like I said, it's time for us as women to actually analyze what we're doing and start doing business intentionally, not by mistake, not by accident. Stop waking up like it's just another day that I will flow through life. We have to get into this intentionally. So, like I said, we're going to go on intermission. And when I am back, we will discuss this topic. It's important for us to actually, like we're seeing now with Venezuela, to actually understand that if we don't take charge now, then when are we going to take charge? When things are going to happen? Okay. So, like I said, I will see you guys. I always take 5 to 6 minutes. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to actually grab your drinks, your snacks, use the bathroom, whatever you have to do. And we will be back to discuss this subject in length. Okay. So, I'll see you guys after the intermission. And like I said, let's get the discussion going. And if you have something to add to this, if you have something you want to share with us, make sure that you jump in and also share your knowledge. I'll be back soon. are back from the intermission, and I see Jose Negron. Welcome. And I also see Radical Latino here joining us. What's up, Radical?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining in. Now, I'm gonna start with you, Radical. What are your thoughts on the Venezuela dilemma? also, and also, let's start with the Venezuela dilemma, and then we'll get into the main topic.
Yeah, Venezuela's been having a lot of issues, from I'll say even from the '90s. I believe that it's not the people, it's the government that sells its people out. If it wasn't for for the government, Venezuela would not be in the turmoil that it is now. Everything is economic corruption. You know, it doesn't make sense that Venezuela has the majority of the oil, but yet their people are dirt poor. Inflation is insane, and that country can't really sustain a good leader. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. But I really do wish hope for Venezuela and its people. It's just really sad to see what's happening right now.
It is because, like I said earlier, I don't know if you were here when I started discussing it, but 90% of Venezuela's income is actually their oil.
Yeah,
And now with this movement, I think I was on Brotep stream saying it like 2 3 months ago. I was saying it and saying, hey, China is going to move against us Latinos through the United States. And first the United States put us in check when they banned people from purchasing oil from Venezuela. And then the checkmate move was now this taxation on Venezuelans crude. So people are not going to purchase it because now it will be more expensive for them to bring this and import it into China. That is the biggest
yeah,
customer of Venezuela. So basically, now where Venezuela will stand now with the US and China against them. And it's basically, it goes back to what I was saying to the naysayers and my detractors, like, what is the solution then? What comes next now for us Latinos if we cannot sustain ourselves with our own resources and they're being taken from us?
yeah. Your retractors, they're not gonna have nothing meaningful to really say. If it doesn't involve BBC. Um, that no, that's a fact. That's a
It
fact.
is. It is.
They are they're equipped to hate and nothing else. You know, they wake up hating and they ain't even brush their teeth yet. So these are the type of people that don't bring nothing to the table, and are but they're just a bunch of idiots. They're nothing in real life and they're nothing online. So it is what it is. But what I believe we should do is try to at least try to have an extending hand in some of the organizations in Venezuela, because there is some organization that's trying to help the people in Venezuela. Try to have an extending hand and see if we could have at least a Latin type of direct connection towards America, where we could try to help some of the people there, because the economic issues in there it's insane.
It is. And let me tell you something. Now that you bring that up, I want to bring two things that I want to tell you. The first one is, when I think it was last year summer, I was talking to one of my Puerto Rican friends that moved here to California. And we wanted to volunteer to Yemen and Venezuela. And through the ONU, is the United Nations is the only way you can volunteer to help people of Venezuela on the ground. And the requirements are insane, Radical. I'm telling you, the requirements are ridiculous. When what they're requiring, basically what people in Venezuela need, it's our hands helping them on ground. and it's insane to even, go as a humanitarian volunteer over there and having to go through such a scrutiny to actually go help them out. So, and then on top of that, I don't know if you catch what I was saying with Argentina corporations leaving, Brazil uprising, and now, the people are protesting everything in the government. I will touch that probably Friday. But also we have Colombia uprising. It's been a month over there, and I saw a video today that brought me to tears. Seeing how their own police is killing Colombian young folks, and what's happening in South America. South America is one of the biggest potencies of Latinos when it comes to business and money wise. And now we have some of those countries only hanging by a thread, which is Chile and Costa Rica. Chile is the most stable one financially, and we all know that they're increasing taxes already. And people were protesting, I think, 2 years ago. Um, and Costa Rica only depends on tourism, and now with C-19 was hit by it. So, um, like I said, do you believe that we can create like an alternate source of income for our countries in South America and also Central America to actually survive? Do you think, in your opinion, we still have time, or you think we will be recolonized, but this time financially? Radical, are you there? I think
Yeah, sorry,
the
sorry, sorry, sorry. Um, I unfortunate to say, I think that time has come and gone with the financial, colonization of escaping. I think it's inevitable. The only thing I believe that we can do is try to save some of the people there, because the overall game is, you know, for the overall game of that these people like to play is that they like to the United States is controlling those economics, in that country, extremely, extremely, extremely efficient, to the point where devastation happens. This doesn't happen out of nowhere. This doesn't happen in the vacuum. This doesn't happen because somebody did a bad deal. This happens because of government intervention. Um, the question that you just posed, that if it's colonized, I think we already been past that point. It's been colonized this whole time. Individually, we could probably try to help out certain people, but until people rise up on some guerrilla warfare type of stuff, like they did in Cuba, and overtake it and say no to the government intervention, I think there will be no saving grace. You know.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. I believe that, it's something that when we see people like Najib Bukele actually getting rid and cleaning house in El Salvador because of the same bullshit, and he's only like what, 38, 39 years old. Um that's the type of people I believe we need, that's able to say, hey, this is not right, y'all fired. And until we're able to do that in each independent country, we will see this happening because Maduro is not no longer the future for Venezuela. He's the past.
Oh
And
yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, in our generation, what it's super cringe to me is that we have a lack of leadership. There's not a lot of leaders.
The leaders sold out the people for their financial gain,
Definitely, definitely. It's it
and
and
that's
it's
that's something that we have to be real about. It's a hard pill to swallow, but at the end of the day, we have the only people we could blame is the leaders. You know what I mean?
yeah.
At the end of the day, unfortunately, America has a lot to do with it, and this is a fact. This
Of
is a
course.
fact.
But look, the way I see it is this. the only thing we can do, because there's nothing we can do to actually change our leaders like from one day to the other. Like we cannot Thanos snap them out of existence.
True.
The only way we can do this is by individually accepting, hey, this is where we are, and as an individual, if I want the best for my community, uh, I have to become the change I want to see, and I have
True.
to become the owner of my own destiny, financially, mentally, and
Yeah,
as a
no, you're
community
right.
itself. Yeah,
You're right. You're
it's
right.
the only option we have.
I agree. I agree with you. And I'm just gonna say this before I go. I believe that once the people start changing their mind outside of it, outside intervention, meaning that their destiny and the environment around them is making them change their mind. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about self-awareness, self-improvement. Once
Yeah.
people start doing that, once people start actually getting out of the colonized mindset, I think that's when we'll start seeing some real change. That's when I believe some real healthy discussions will come by, and we will, definitely take away all the distractions around us. Because let's be honest, most of these trolls and most of the people that try to join our panels are distractors
Yeah.
who come in just to beef. No, they're distractors. Those are the type of people we got to get out of here. You know what I mean? That's basically
Definitely.
what I have to say. But I'm gonna go now. But I'm definitely gonna listen in.
Thank you,
All right, peace.
Radic, for your opinion. I agree.
And remember, brothers, we gotta divest.
Gotta divest, man.
Getting a
Get those
passport,
passports ready.
getting a passport is a key. We gotta escape the matrix. No, let me stop. All right, I
Yeah.
gotta go. I gotta go. Bye.
All right.
Okay, good night, Radical.
Jose, what are your thoughts on first the Venezuela, China turning its back on Venezuela?
Good evening. First of all, unfortunately, I didn't get the beginning. I only got like the tail end of the story. But it's when you have only one source of income and that source is evaporating. That's not a good situation. And it's amazing that in a country that's all rich like Venezuela, that there should be such poverty. And it's a crime. It's a crying shame. Um, and as far as this distract is concerned, I'm going to repeat what I said last week. You could either be part of the solution or you could be part of the problem.
Definitely.
And the fact of the matter is, you are bringing forward not only issues that need to be discussed, but you're trying to find solutions as well. And when I think about it, there is a saying: it's better to light a candle than the curse of darkness. Okay,
Say it again for the slow ones in the back.
Hmm.
it is better to light a candle than curse the darkness.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and for those of you who who questioning where this saying came from, it actually came from a Catholic religious order called the Christophers, and they were founded to try to bring a positive influence in the world. So when you have people like yourself or Radical or other outspoken people, I'm not just speaking about the problems, but you're trying to bring solution to the problems as well.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why people like Bro Teb, Radical, and myself, we get criticized left and right for simply pointing out, hey, this needs our attention right now. I don't care about anything else. Let's focus on the priority. I think people don't know how to prioritize issues, and they just these are followers,
Yes.
you can tell because their priorities are, all upside down. Our priority right now is not how much we like or dislike our neighbors or people that we share a nation with. Our
Mhm.
priority right now it's our own survival,
True.
and the fact that we have people that, you know are shaming others for the survival of their own community instead of just focusing on our community. It's like, let's say, for example, I see it like this, as if we're going to war, like the old time wars, when we have like a bunch of soldiers in this massive group and we're marching, and behind us is all these people, and you have all these slow taps in the beginning, going to war against what we have to go to war in our issues. And because they're so focused on hating the one that's next to them, they're not realizing that the army is behind us instead of in front of us, and it's killing all of our people from behind all the way up. And by
Mm-hmm.
the time we realize this, it's gonna come kill them too. So
Yes.
that's annihilation, basically.
Yes. And I actually have seen part of the video stream with Fighter. To be perfectly honest, Denise, I was only able to watch 2 hours of it. I mean, because with the exception of individuals like yourself, Melanated Knight, Fighter, a couple other individuals, it was just one huge cringe fest. And I don't know how you managed to stomach all of this. I mean, because it's just so cringe worthy.
It is, and it's because, like I said, I think at on my first stream, we are not educated on what matters. These are people that unfortunately, you know, do not understand. I think they don't understand the value of options. They don't understand the concept of options. You don't have. I don't believe in predestination. I believe you make your own destiny.
Mhm.
So I think they're fixated in that. It is because of their fanatism and the religious basis.
And
And what they do is that they believe, hey, I'm a Latino, I have to fix this narrative, and I have to be this person, and this is the role that I'm going to do. And if I don't know if you guys are familiar with Russia in the 1890s when the Tsars were ruling,
mhm.
what really was the last drop that actually caused the uprising of Russians was that if you were a peasant, if you were poor, you were deemed a peasant. And then when you die, there's no escape from that. Your kids will inherit your peasant status, and they will
Mhm.
have peasants, and they will continue as peasants. And if you translate that into today in America, right, and you analyze this community of toxic YouTubers, of Latinos toxic YouTubers, you will understand that if you look at their parents, I don't care about what they say today, I care more about, let's look at their parents. If you look at their parents and the way they were, they had peasant status, and they inherit that status, and they're doing nothing with it. There's nothing wrong, there's nothing worse, I'm sorry, than the colonized mind. If I colonize your brain and make you think you can only be a peasant, you will be a peasant even if I don't tell you to be one. And that's what we're seeing in these people.
True. And I'm gonna speak about myself and only myself. I mean, first of all, I was a child that I grew up on welfare. Okay, but I have values that my mother installed in me. Okay, I was able to have enough work, intelligence to get an education. I got an education. I was able to get a bachelor's degree. I was the first member of my family to get a bachelor's degree. And then for over 30 years, I have been a working person, a productive member of society. Not only that, I've been able to buy my own home. Okay. Why? Because even though I came from humble means, I had dreams, I had visions, I had plans, and I had to deal with a lot of naysayers. And quite a few of them said to me, many times, I would never amount to anything.
Wow.
Okay. But here I am. I'm
Jesus
58 years
Christ.
old. I'm 58 years old. I've been protected society. I have my own place. I'm acting for my local. Okay. Why? Because I was not going to be ruled by my circumstances.
And that's really
Good.
honorable to
Good.
see. Bro Tep, what are your thoughts on China turning its back on Venezuela?
All right. I mean, I just want to. I don't want to bring my anger to your show. All
Bring
right.
it,
But
bring it,
okay.
bring it.
No, this is the kind of thing that frustrates me to no end. All right. So you have all these people on here arguing about their identity and then how you identify and who you're dating when you're bringing these sorts of information. This is the first time I'm hearing about this. And I'll tell the audience and yourself what my thoughts are on what China's actually trying to do, right? But they're focusing on all these things. Meanwhile, their homeland, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and all those places are suffering real people who have no idea, no clue, and really don't care about any of this nonsense that they're focusing on online and in the streets in the United States. They're focusing on that nonsense. Meanwhile, over there, those people are suffering. Can't even take control of their own destiny, can't even profit off of their own resources to make their own lives better. What I think China's doing is what they're doing with every single resource on the planet. They're coming in with economic warfare. A lot of these guys, they come in and they yell at you, call you names. They yell at Sundown, an actual special forces guy, a military guy, when he told them, "Look, wars. Forget what's going on in the Middle East right now with Israel and Palestine and all that stuff. That's old school war. Modern warfare is economic. It's economic,
Exactly.
and they're already taking you over. You're not waiting for Chinese to have Chinese jets fly over Venezuela. That's not how that works. It's economic warfare. So now they've turned their backs on Venezuela. What due to the tax thing? I caught a lot of it, but not all the nuances of what you were saying, right? But I caught enough of it to get that that's what they're doing with Africa, Southeast Asia, and all these other places. They come in, they subsidize your competition, and then when you can't compete, they turn their backs on you with whatever support they were giving you publicly, right? Whether that was tax breaks or maybe they were helping you move things in transports. They turn their backs on you. Now when you're at in need of anything like partnership or helping you with the product that you were making, whether it's crude oil or mining, when you need the help, now they come back and say, why don't you sell us the mine instead? Why don't you sell us the oil reserve instead, since you can't take care of it? And so now what's the people supposed to do? They realistically can't take care of it because their one partner turned their backs on them. So now they will be forced to sell you. It's a business move. Corporations do that to one another all the time. And China just did it to Venezuela. So now the next thing I think is going to happen is parts of those resources are going to be sold and be properties of China.
And
That's what they've done. I'm sorry, go ahead.
and that's one thing I'm gonna add to what you're saying to piggyback from it. Um, I remember in 2005 when the Puerto Rican governor Aníbal Acevedo Vilá tried to actually purchase oil from Venezuela instead of the United States, and the United States said no,
Yeah.
even though the oil that they were importing in Puerto Rico had higher taxes than the ones that Venezuela wanted to bring through the presidency of Hugo Chavez back in 2005. And we see now their master plan being played as years pass by. And like you said before, these people are concerned with who I'm laying with, who I'm marrying, who
Hmm.
I'm having kids with, and stupidity, but they do not care. Make no mistake, they do not care about you, meet our people, our countries, our resources. They don't.
Wow.
It's insane.
Incredible.
See,
Incredible.
yeah, what you just said about the crude oil, that's the subsidizing move, right? So
Mhm.
basically, you're selling your product at a fair rate, and what they do to take you out the game, they get you out the paint real quick by subsidizing, backing up your competitor, whether it's from their own place or someone else who's allied with them, and then they kick you out of the market because you can't compete. Then they come back and they take the product that you were selling in the first place at a cheaper rate because now you're in dire straits. You're in a bad situation that
Yeah.
they set up. It's a horrible thing, but you know what, fellas, why don't you come and chastise Denise about her choices and partners some more? That I'm sure that's gonna fix Venezuela. Why
Yeah.
don't you go yell at Christina about whether she's Afro Latina or Dominican? I'm sure that's gonna fix whatever the problems are in the Dominican Republic. Because you guys have your priorities in order, right? Your priorities are all straight. I'm especially after Sierra Leone just had to sell some beaches and some jungles to China. That's what these predators, these colonialist predators are actually doing. And instead of people getting their butts in gear, like, okay, here's what we can do. Instead of that, there's all this infighting and all this petty bullshit based on the mindset that's crippled by social colonialism. Now, moving on to the business thing with women in business, what I have to add to that is, as a business person myself, we need women. If you're a woman and you're listening to the playback or you're in the chat right now, we need you. If you don't want to get in business because of yourself only, know that we need you as well. The men who are in business right now, if you look it up, there are two things. Black people, some of the businesses are losing tons of money, especially the Hollywood industry. They're losing tons of money by not catering to black needs. So on the flip side of that, other businesses are suffering from lack of female diversity. Okay. When you don't have that female input, that female insight, you lose out on very crucial. Women are social creatures. Like, we as men, we tame the lions, we fight off the saber tooths, but it's the women who are the glue of your society that you build. They're built for this. So why wouldn't you want that as part of the fabric of your business? Most of the companies that are thriving right now, most of their human resource departments, they're full of women. It's majority women. The publishing industry, it's thriving right now despite the fact that everything's gone digital, right? And print is selling less. That business is still thriving because of women. So my message to women right now is, get into business. You're helping the world by helping yourself. Get into more business. Follow what Denise is telling you about, like, the methods of getting into business, and just get in there, right? Just get your foot in the door. Just do it.
Yeah, yeah. Don't be afraid to fail. We need to fail miserably. You
Hmm.
know, I don't look. And that's something I wish I would have told myself at 22. And I know a lot of people hate him for the stuff that he has done, to the country and to a lot of things. But let's look at Donald Trump's business plan. This is a man that actually failed miserably in the public eye, filed bankruptcy not once, nor twice, not three times, four times bankrupt. And he still became the president of the United States. Why? Because he knew before he started, I'm going to fail miserably. But out of that failure, I'm going to gain an experience that nothing else but failure could give me. And that is the power to rise up again, no
Hmm.
matter what, and become the best. And I get it. People hate him. You might hate him. You might love him. You might think he is whatever, everything but a child of the Lord. However, he
Hmm.
was still your president.
And
That's that's all
what
I'm saying to women. Let's fail miserably,
what
epically.
what What Denise has told you is absolutely true. It goes, think of it even in terms of workout, right? Workout, and it applies everywhere else. Success maintains. Success is a plateau. You've reached success, you're there. There's no up, down, there is down, but you're not moving up or down. You're at a plateau. You only grow, though, through failure. Failure makes you grow. Success establishes you and stabilizes you, but failure makes you grow. When you're at the gym, if you're doing the set and you didn't fail, you didn't struggle, yeah, you're successful. You lifted that weight, but over the course of time, will you grow? No, you'll be that same size, whatever that is. But when you fail, fail hard and you learn and you grow, like the muscles grow, you go home, whatever, the muscles grow, you come back stronger. Same thing will apply here. Try the thing and fail hard. And sometimes you fail humiliatingly, right? But at the end of the day, you learn from these. It looks like the bigger the failure, the more important the lesson that you learn.
Of
And
course.
then, yeah, so absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
Yeah, it's something that, like I said, I wish I would have told my 22-year-old self, failure is necessary in business. It's like another example, if you don't want to take the Cheeto example of Donald Trump, but um look at the 1930s, the stock market. It literally was ravaging, growing exponentially in the 1920s. But what happened in 1929?
Mm,
It crashed massively like we've never seen before. Not even in 2008 we saw that. And tell me today, if you compare the numbers in the stock market to last year in 2020, compare them to 1930, 1931, 32, and if they did not rose up, if they did not became, if that curve did not came up,
hmm,
I don't know what to tell you. It's like I said, and they failed miserably. A lot of people lost all their money in the stock market and became broke, but out of that, you always come up. James
yeah.
Braddock was a boxer around that time and he lost everything. Now, if you think about it, if he would have gave up and say, hey, this is not for me because I failed,
Hmm,
I'm the worst boxer. He actually even had no contest. I don't know how many of you guys have watched the Cinderella Man. That's one of my
yeah, I
favorite
love that
boxing
movie. Mhm.
movies. He even had no contest fights because it was so bad
Yeah.
around that time, and he lost everything. If he would have given up and not take that risk, he knew he could have even died fighting that dude, but he
Hmm,
still went in there with his arthritis and his hand all messed up, and he won and he became the champion and could give his family a stable financial situation to rely on. And he didn't stop there. That man also used his hands to serve in the military and also build the Brooklyn Bridge.
hmm,
So it's like I said, failing is part of the journey. You just don't, you have to not give up. You have to be willing to absorb the failure to actually put yourself out there. And I believe that because as women, we're more emotional, we take that failure a little bit harder and we think, hey, this probably is not for me. And then you add the factors that you have misogynistic men out there telling you this is not your place.
yeah.
Women do not belong in business, women belong in the kitchen.
Mm,
And that's why what these men are doing is just discouraging a lot of women. But I'm telling you today, as a woman that has failed and is still going to fail tomorrow, do not give up. Consistency is key, and we have plenty of examples of that. And to the men that are misogynistic and believe that women like myself belong in the kitchen and that we don't know anything, like I have been thrown out with many insults, I'm going to tell you something. Money wise, if
hmm,
women withdraw completely from the market, half
yeah.
of your taxpayers' money is going to be cut also. So the half of the resources that we have now is going away. Half of the taxes we contribute is going away. Half of the
It's not even
consumer,
half. It's not even
exactly.
half. It's most of it. It's most of it.
It's like I
Women
said,
are the market. These
yes,
people don't understand.
women consume more music than men by far.
Hmm.
And how
Yep.
big the music industry is, an industry of $28 trillion per
Hmm.
year. So if we are the biggest consumer, because obviously there's more women than men in the world, for every man there's 4 women. Who else is going to consume this stuff if we don't make our money to actually pay for it and purchase it? So when you're telling women that they belong in the kitchen, think about your economic situation. Unless you're willing to bring home 100K, which I don't
Hmm.
know how you're going to do it if you don't think that financial issues and topics are important. What is better? Because it's better. I see it like this: it's better if she brings 60K in and you bring 60K than she's staying at home instead of being useful in the market and you having to bring 120 home.
Yeah.
So it doesn't add up when you ask them questions that are very simple about the stuff that they're supposed to know. They really don't know these things, which is sad.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
No problem. Then.
Go ahead, Jose.
No, but the fact of the matter is this: women can do amazing things. Unfortunately, some people have a warped concept about women. They're
Yes.
only good for
Yes.
two
Yes.
things: the kitchen and the bed. Okay. Now I don't know if you saw the movie Hidden Figures.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
Yes.
yeah.
Think about it. The fact that John Glenn was able to orbit around the Earth. The brains behind all that were 3 African women.
Hmm.
Okay. And this was during the 60s during segregation. So just imagine you as a woman and a woman of color. You have to walk miles to go to a colored restroom because of segregation. Could you imagine, the toll that might have afflicted these women? But yet, with all that, there were the brain power behind the fact that John Glenn was able to orbit the Earth. Women can do amazing things. Women had led nations.
Yes.
Women had made such a powerful impact in society. And if you take a look at the Bible, some of the strongest figures are women.
Yep.
Okay. For all those naysayers that attack Denise, Christina, Infinitum,
Hmm.
think about that. We have women leaders. We have women serving in the Supreme Court. We have women that have achieved greatness in virtually every aspect of life. But yet, some men want to put limitations on what women can do. And
Hmm.
that's totally sad, pathetic, and weak. And forgive me for getting on a soapbox, but I have
No,
to
it's
say
true.
it.
It's true.
I agree. I
Yep.
agree with you. It's retarded. When I
Uh,
see,
I'm sorry.
go ahead, bro. Tip, go ahead.
No, I'd like to actually remind the women who are watching right now, both live right now and in the playback, that when you have the, I don't know, subtly, very very passively misogynistic men around you, like maybe the husband that you've learned to live around his passive misogyny. It's like, hey babe, go in the kitchen, cook something, and just remind him the beer he's holding in his hand. Women invented beer. Period. Point
Mm.
blank. Period.
Woman,
Point blank. Anthropologists have found that out. Women
not
invented
only
beer.
that, not only that, every time you connect yourself to YouTube to
Hmm.
produce misogynistic, disgusting, and vulgar content,
Oh, dear
just
God in
remember,
heaven.
just remember that woman invented Wi-Fi
Yep.
by inventing signal hopping.
Yep.
Now, every time that, in places like California or Vegas, you have dams with water, a woman invented the concept of a dam in places
Hmm.
like California and Vegas. So every time you get water, it came from us. You owe us that.
You
That
know
and many much more because life starts with us.
the the
Mhm.
So
the the phone in his hand, where he's telling his buddy, "Yeah, I just had to tell Glinda to go back in the kitchen there." Well, that phone, you have a woman to thank for that. The beer in your other hand, you have women of the ancient world, I think Babylon, or even Egypt, to thank for that. And you know what?
Mhm.
You got to get back to your Netflix, sci-fi film. Well, you wouldn't have science fiction without Mary Shelley. She invented modern science fiction. You know the character as Frankenstein. Without her, oh wait, you're gonna flip through it. You're angry. Oh well, I don't like sci-fi. Let me go to superhero. Well, the woman who wrote the Scarlet Pimpernel, she invented the modern superhero, right? So stop being so fragile. Okay, businesses like Denise was saying here, half of all that stuff would be gone if women withdrew from the market. Denise is lowballing it. She's being kind to you. More than half would be gone. She's just sparing your feelings. But
Mhm.
Rotep won't spare your feelings. Women are the market. Women are the market. When I worked for an advertising firm and I was drawing the storyboard and I read the notes. When you do storyboards, there are these 200-300 pages that these companies send to you to tell you um what their official colors are, what the thought patterns should be when you come up with visuals. So I had to read all that, and they kept reminding you in the handbook, in the booklet, remember the market is women. Remember the market is women. And then I turned to the guy, I'm like, supervisor, like, hey, we're selling beer. Rocky Mountain Coors, whatever. We're doing a commercial for beer. They're like, no, 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 no. What you're doing is you're selling to the mom who's sitting there and folding laundry and watching the shows, and then the beer commercial comes on, and she remembers that her husband drinks beer. And when she goes to the supermarket, she's buying cases and cases of Coors. That's who you're marketing to, not the husband. When he goes in there to a supermarket, he goes there for one item. When women go to the supermarket, they come back with the cart. I'm a dude. I know if I shop for myself, I'd starve. You understand?
That is true because even in married couples living together, I'm gonna use my example. My fiance doesn't know how to do groceries for himself. I have to do the groceries for the house. He just puts in money and I do the groceries myself
Yep.
because he knows that I have the skills to actually plan meals better than himself because his mind is concentrated on protecting me and providing for me,
Hmm.
and making sure that the house, everything in the house works so that I can actually have an easygoing life. The rest is on me.
Yep.
you
Um,
know
Yep.
and even in fashion, sorry to interrupt you, Jose, I'll let you in
No,
in
no.
a second. But like even in fashion, if you analyze, it's very hard to market fashion for males because men
Mhm.
really are very practical. They're like, okay, I just need a t-shirt, a pant, some shoes, and I'm out. So for
Mhm.
women it's different. It's better for us to buy the accessories, the shades that go with it, the hats, the earrings, the signet ring, the all these things that we buy for men or these knickknacks is because
Yep.
we pay attention to these details. That's how when you walk in a man only owned house, you notice that there's that feminine touch is the details that is lacking, and you realize
Yes.
that man is single because you don't see the details of what a woman aesthetics will bring to that space.
Yep.
Men really do not need anything but a normal sofa, a table for the TV, probably some drawers for the movies and
Yep.
stuff, a bed, a nightstand of whatever, and they're good to go.
Yep.
They don't care about nothing else. Men really are very practical. So we are the market. And if we don't produce enough money or you're not willing to bring home 150K by yourself, do not be asking women to stay at home. It's the
Yep.
same thing I said with the interview that I did with Radical Latino when he asked me why I got so much pushback. It's because I'm a woman telling men this stuff. But in reality, I don't want to be the face of this. I don't want to be the voice of this. The problem is because there's no men that are willing to be the voice of this in Latin America. I have to rise up as a woman because I care. I care about
Mhm.
my people. I care about our future, our destiny, our money. I care about our finances, our families, and they don't. So until there's many men speaking about this, which is a male, quote unquote, male related subject, guess what? I'm all you got.
Yep.
I'm what you got, and you're going to like it whether you want it or not.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Jose, go on what you were gonna say.
Okay, first of all, for those so-called Christians, that talk about women, fact number one. The first person that saw Jesus alive after he rose from the dead was a woman. Okay? In the Old Testament, when
Facts.
the spies came in into Canaan, who hid them? A woman.
Facts.
Okay, yeah, that's fact. And in fact, when the Jewish people were in Babylon and they was facing destruction, who played a key role to save them from being destroyed? Esther, a woman.
Yep.
Okay, and the reason why, and I can say this because I have a reasonable knowledge of the Bible.
Hmm.
Okay, and the fact of the matter is this, and I'm going to keep going again. Women can do amazing things. Okay, and when you have boys, because to me they're not men, boys that denigrate women, treating as second class citizens, attack those who are trying to bring a little bit of light into the subject. To me, they are boys. And if people don't like what I'm saying, don't listen.
Hmm. Yep.
Definitely. It's like I said, I I cannot get uh better any better explanation than what you guys have provided here with these children. You know, it's insane when they come at us for doing things, and it's like I said, like, do you really think that women want to be pregnant and working? Do you really think that women want to drop their most precious gift, which is a child, in daycare to go out and work? The reason why we have to, first, is because there's more women than males out there, and second, because males are not actually rising up to what they're supposed to. Somebody has to do these things. Somebody has to. It doesn't matter if you're not going to do it. Well, guess what? You pass the bill to us.
Hmm.
And that's why I'm telling women, we are needed. We can. We got this.
Mm-hmm.
Take risks and get it done. The men are not coming to save you. They're not coming to provide for you. You have to get it done. Look at what's happening right now in Venezuela. Like I said before, what's happening in Colombia, what's happening with Puerto Rico, with Mexico, with Panama, with Peru, with Brazil. Where are these men? Where are men saying, "Oh, I'm going to protect you. Hey, I'm going to provide for us. I'm going to keep this community afloat"? No, our men right now are focusing on all the wrong things. And I'm not speaking for all Latino men. There's a lot of Latino men that are actually fighting with the woman and they understand this concept. But we have a lot of kids pretending to be men.
Yep.
You
Yes.
know, what makes you a man is not your age. What makes you a man is your ability to provide and protect. And if you're failing at both of those things, or even one of those things, you're not a man. Newsflash, you're not a man.
Hmm.
So before you ask women to stop acting in their masculine, be the masculine energy that she will need, that your family will need, that your kids will need. And then we can talk about how we can split it 50-50, because there's no way you can send us back to the kitchen. We ain't going back to the kitchen. I don't care how
Hmm.
bad you feel about us being out here working and earning our money. We ain't going back to the kitchen. If you want someone in the kitchen, you go in the kitchen. And I
Yep.
mean
Yes.
that as a metaphor.
Yes. I mean, men can learn. Men can learn how to cook. Men can learn how to do laundry. Men can learn how to clean. I mean, basically, I had to teach myself how to do laundry. I mean, and okay, I learned how to do laundry late in life, but at least I learned. Okay, and I'm learning how to cook. Why? Because if the day comes when God bless me with a good woman as a wife, and she's coming home after a hard day's work, dealing with all the stupidity that's out there, I can say to my wife, honey, please have a seat. I prepared dinner for you.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's the fact that look at what Morena says. She's like facts, Denise. Yeah, Morena, those are facts. And like I said, they can a lot of this detractors and naysayers keep, like I said, like both have said, focusing on the wrong things. Now, in the meantime, women, let's take advantage of that. If our men are not paying attention to the market, then why we don't take it for ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if these men are actually canceling themselves, I'm gonna bring an analogy of you guys know I'm a sound engineer, so I'm gonna bring an analogy of audio, and the way I see the men of this toxic YouTube community of, Latino YouTubers. um the way I see them is as bitter. For those who do not know this and are not familiar, I'm going to explain it. Bitter basically is a low frequency sound that cancels noise in music and in sound engineering per se. Like when you're recording and you're trying to bring a a higher bit resolution, and you're trying to bring it to like a lower bit resolution in digital audio, in order for you to reduce the resolution without quantization errors, then you have to add ditter. Ditter is a noise basically that cancels other noise, and you don't hear it because it's such a low frequency, and the human ear only hears from 20 hertz to 20 hertz. So ditter is underneath the range of hearing of the human ear. So by provoking that low frequency noise, you cancel the quantization errors of this low bit resolution you're trying to achieve. So it's a noise that cancels other noises because it will cause distortion when you hear it, and that we can hear. But with the ditter, you cancel that distortion and the noise, so that you can actually have sound that sounds clean and crisp and it's not disordered. So basically, what I'm bringing this example, woman, let's become the bitter that cancels the distortion of our males in businesses. We have to become that low frequency noise, because obviously we're still going to be feminine, but we have to bring that quote unquote low frequency noise to actually cancel the debt that our community has. Let's become the debtor of our financial status in our community by learning first how to do business, get your mind right, and learn that failure is part of the journey. And like I said, if men are not doing this, they cancel themselves out.
Mm-hmm.
So take it. It's open for the taking for anybody. It's time for us to actually uh put in our 2 cents, and we can do this. We can definitely
Free
do this.
market, baby. Free
Yeah,
Yes.
market.
it's up for the taking. It's up for the taking, and this is a beautiful time for us to come here and take it, and actually let them be, like I said Friday, let them be the circus, and let the
Hmm.
people that want to clap for the circus clap for the circus. We're
Yeah.
not circus people. This is not
Yes.
a circus stream either.
Mm-hmm.
Stay,
So
stay in that tent over there. With
exactly.
yeah, with all the tigers and clowns and all the trapeze men. You could stay over there.
Yeah,
and be goofballs. You know what I mean?
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, before I close today, I want you guys to share your final thoughts. Jose, your final thoughts on today's topic, what it will be.
Okay. I'm going to say this, and if for those who naysay don't want to hear it, don't listen. Women can achieve virtually anything that they set their mind to. The only limitations that they have is their vision and their dreams. And
Yes.
that's a fact. And I wish and I pray one day at least some of these naysayers will realize the harm that they're doing not only to women like Denise, but to our community. Again, I thank you, Denise, for being very gracious in allowing me to give my 2 cents. And it's
Yes,
it's a
sir.
pleasure. It's a pleasure to see you. I hope I was able to be a little bit more positive. And I just want to say, please be safe out there because unfortunately, there's some crazy people out there that do us harm.
Yes. And the pleasure
Definitely.
was all mine, Jose.
Thank you, Jose. And also, yeah, Brotep is coming with a show right after mine.
Yeah.
So don't go anywhere and go to Brotep's channel after
Yeah.
this.
I'm gonna carry over this has me amped up. I'm gonna carry over some of these talking points over to the show because I have more
Definitely.
stories to tell from my time dealing in advertising firms and doing freelance as a
Well,
graphic designer.
well, I don't know if I'll be able to. I mean, because it's close to 10 o'clock. I mean, some of us do actually work on the five.
Work in the
So
morning,
Yeah.
yes. But definitely, thank you, Jose, for always, being so supportive and coming here with good vibes. I've never, and we have even disagreed, and it's always good vibes. And I appreciate you for that. We need you to start a school mentoring these kids how to
Hmm.
be a good Latino man and honor your parents.
Yes.
but you know something. And I hate this end it on this note, but I don't know of many people of my generation that try to be as positive as I am.
Hmm.
And the fact of the matter is, the reason why I am this way is the foundation that my mother left me. And one day,
Oh
I
wow.
would like to show a picture of my mom, just to show. You see, the reason why I am because I am is because of my mother, Gloria Negron, and I know she's up in heaven. I just want to say, mami, te extraño mucho, siempre va a vivir en mi corazón.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
my
sweet.
condolences, bro.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you very much, Jose. I'll see
Yes.
you on Friday if you want to join the stream on the part 3 of the Lie Latinos Have Believe.
And if I may, I don't know if I'll be able to come up with talk about a couple of solutions to the problem because, um, don't get me wrong, it's very important to discuss the problems, but we also need to have some solutions as well.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
please be safe.
Thank you. Be safe, you too, as well. Now, Bro
You
Tep,
too, Jose.
final thoughts on today's topic.
Yeah, both these topics, they got me thinking, and one of them has me very angry, which is the China Venezuelan affair. Uh, about that, I think what we need to do, well, not we, because I've been specifically kept away from Hispanic affairs by a lot of slow taps. So my my advice as an outsider who's looking into this thing and whose community, the black community, is affected by Chinese people or the Chinese government, not their people, the Chinese government doing these sorts of things. My advice is get your act together. When you have someone like Denise or someone else like Radical Latino and others who are kind of getting you on the ball, to keep your eye on the ball as to what's happening in your community, the Lispanidad that you guys are always talking about. Listen to them. Don't attack them. Listen to them. See what you can do, and then you can disagree with them later. You can call them, all kinds of sellouts and this and that, vende patrias. You can call them that later. That stuff is for later. Right now, try to strengthen yourselves. Despite all your differences, try to strengthen yourselves. Now, moving on to the women thing, this is for the women. I'm tired of talking to the dudes. Like they don't get it, and they're not gonna get it. But to the women, just get it started. There's a principle of casting a vote, right? So doing one push up in the morning, or one sit up in the morning, or one what do you call it, squat in the morning, won't get you in shape, but you're casting a vote. This is something I learned. I didn't make this up. I learned it from a motivational speaker. You're casting a vote towards being a person who thinks about getting in shape. And once you cast that vote and your body's in motion, you start moving anyway. So the same thing with the business, right? So if you're saying tomorrow I'm gonna, no, tomorrow will never come if that's your attitude towards it. Cast a vote. Cast a vote towards being a woman who is a businesswoman. You're not going to be a businesswoman tomorrow. You're a businesswoman right now who's lazy and should get started. That's what you
Definitely.
are already. You're a businesswoman who's a businesswoman already and should be getting started. So, what can you do to cast a vote towards being a businesswoman, right? So, if that's okay, making a call to that friend of yours who owns a van and you want to actually do some catering so that you cook food here and then your friend brings the van and then you guys take it to these shops, these churches and all these places. Maybe someone's making a movie, they need a table, concession table. If that's the move, make the call. That one step towards being the businesswoman. So cast the vote. All right,
Yeah.
that's my spiel.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Tep. Thank you very much for your input, and I'll definitely be joining your show after this one. And I agree with you on what you said. The first step will never take you where you're trying to be, but it will take you out
Hmm.
where you're at right now.
Yep.
So definitely, I am taking what your words and I'm keeping them close to me because it's a lot of wisdom in them.
Cool. Cool.
So
Thank
I
you. Thank you.
appreciate, as usual, I appreciate your input. You know, I consider you a very intelligent individual,
Oh,
and
thank you.
I, as a Latina, you have my approval on speaking on any of our topics because, like I said, our the children in the back of the
Hmm.
circus are not speaking on them and are not presenting any solutions. So whoever wants to present solutions,
Hmm.
you also are part of our community. So it's like I said, don't let them stop you. Don't let them tell you what you can and cannot do. Still
Cool.
do you and let them be the circus.
Yep. Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
So
Yeah.
thank you very much, bro. Tep. I'll see you later on your show.
All
I
right.
appreciate your
Then
input.
a pleasure
Peace.
to be here. All right.
Thank you. So, guys, like I said, this was a very, uh, hard topic to jump in. Um, I probably will touch it later on, but women, I want to leave you guys with something. I'm not perfect. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. There's so much to learn. There's so much to do. Our countries right now are under siege. They have been under siege for a while now, and like I said, it's super cringe to see that we have people here utilizing or misusing their platforms to actually throw attacks that are baseless attacks. When 3 days ago, I was being attacked personally for stupidity, but 3 days ago, China was already turning its back on Venezuela, and nothing has been said about that because these children believe that identity is more important than land, than resources and finances. Don't let people discredit your journey. Don't let people dictate what you can do or how far you can go. Donald Trump didn't let them. Uh, you know, all the ladies that have created stuff did not let them. Madame Curie did not let nobody tell her what she could do. Rosa Parks did not let nobody tell her what she could do. Lolita Lebron did not let nobody tell her how far she can go. Let's follow their example, honor their legacy. Let's take this opportunity that we have when nobody wants to do anything, and let's bring it home ourselves. We can do this. Let's link up also. Let's start making connections among each other, and let's start supporting each other. If you found an answer for something, make sure you share it with other women that are coming up, and let's start linking up with us and forming a network. If we're gonna talk about sisterhood, let's make it a reality. And I want to leave you with that today. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Like I said, like and subscribe for those that are catching up the playback. If you want to leave a comment below in the description section, um, please do so. I want to hear from you girls. If you want to start a business, if you are in this venture, I want to hear from you. If you have questions that you believe I can ask, I'm here for you. Follow me on Instagram is denise.gonzalez.villegas1. um, I'm in the future sharing my Twitter, so you guys can also follow me there, and my Facebook. And like I said, it's time for us to change. Morena says, "Thank you. You're welcome, sweetheart. Like definitely, we can do this." Don't listen to the losers. Don't listen to people that is telling you bad things unless that's accompanied by a solution. If they're just coming to insult you, they're not for you. I want to leave you guys with that one. And like I said, like, subscribe, and donate to support my channel. Thank you, Rakim, for the $10 donation that you made today. Also, that also helps the channel grow. And like I said, I appreciate the support. And let's just get it going. Today is Monday. You have a new week to actually get it done. Thank you guys very much, and I'll catch you on the next stream.